Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, we're going to refute the absolute disgusting lies of this disgusting anti-Semite Dan Bilzerian. We're going to refute every single lie that he smears, that he spews with concrete truth. I don't like using the word anti-Semite loosely. I know that it's used very loosely in the world today, but when someone's an anti-Semite, I will call them that. And that's what this guy is, because he smears lies about the Jewish people and it's disgusting. And this video came across my feed. Some people also sent it to me and I felt compelled to make a video refuting absolutely everything he says, because literally everything he says is a lie and it's literally just to cause so much anti-Semitism in the world. But what disgusts me the most is the comments and how much the comments agree with him. This video has 50,000 likes and over 3,000 comments, with the vast majority supporting his message. And it's awful, it's repulsive. And the main reason I want to make this video is to actually clarify the truth, because he only is smearing lies and it's disgusting. It made me angry. And so I want to refute his lies with the truth. So let's see what he has to say. I'm going to pause at every moment that he says a lie. I'm going to refute it with truth. And it's going to be quite often, because he obviously has zero intelligence about the truth about Judaism, and he talks about it like he knows about it, but he knows zero about it, and it's disgusting. So let's see what he has to say, and let's refute it with truth.
When you have a religion that teaches you that you're better than other people,
All right, let's pause there. When you have a religion that teaches you that you're better than other people, I'm a Jew and I've never been taught that I am better than anyone else. It is a false belief to believe that the Jewish people are superior than the rest of the world. We as Jews simply believe that we have a different responsibility than the rest of the world. That does not make us better. We believe that our responsibility is to keep to the commandments of the Torah. The rest of the nations are not required to do that, but we do not believe that we are superior. We believe that we have a different responsibility, and we are never taught to believe that we are better than anyone else. Just a different purpose, different mission in this world, different responsibility.
religion that teaches you that you can steal from other people,
Religion that teaches you that you can steal from other people. All right, let's take one quick look at the 10 Commandments. Is that you cannot steal. And that's a core belief in Judaism. You cannot steal from other people in business, in life, in anything. You cannot steal, and it's a core belief of ours.
you can lie to other people that aren't Jewish.
That you can lie to other people who aren't Jewish. So in the commandments, there's a commandment that you cannot lie. So we cannot lie, we cannot steal. And he's saying that apparently we believe we can only not do that to Jews. No, we believe that we don't do that to anyone. We shouldn't steal and we shouldn't lie to non-Jews as well. Not just Jews. We don't lie or steal to Jews and non-Jews. Let's continue.
And you have two sets of rules, then you obviously are going to have, every excuse to be self-serving. You're going to have every excuse to be selfish. Because look, when you were a little kid,
I want to stop him there. And really, this completely contradicts what Judaism is completely rooted in. Judaism is the opposite of self-serving. Our belief is that we are here to be, as it says in the book of Isaiah, a light to the nations. We are here to serve the world. We are here to bring the biblical values of God and bring them to the rest of society. We do not believe that we are here to just benefit ourselves. We are here to bring light to the rest of the world. What light? Biblical values, moral values. And if I may say so, we've done a pretty good job at that. Let's continue.
your parents, hopefully, they taught you, good morals. They taught you not to steal from people, whatever. But what if they didn't? What if they're steal from anybody that's not a Jew?
No Jew that I know, and I can speak for myself, none of our parents raised us being like, you see that non-Jew over there? Steal from them. But from your Jewish brothers and sisters, you're not allowed to steal. That has never been programmed in our minds. We've just been taught, don't steal. Don't cheat other people. Don't lie. We've never differentiated between a Jew and a non-Jew. It's just a human being. Treat them like they're made in the image of God. And if they're made in the image of God, then you treat them with decency. You don't lie to them. You don't steal from them. It's ridiculous what he's saying.
Lie to anybody that's not a Jew. Do whatever it takes to, win. If you are raised with that and you think that that's okay, look at these bat mitzvahs. They teach the kids, you're better than everybody else. that.
This one's probably one of the ones that irritates me the most. Look at the bat mitzvahs, being taught that you're better than everybody else. Do you even know What about mitzvah is for? What irritates me so deeply is that he doesn't even know what he's talking about, and he talks about it like it's factual. A bat mitzvah is literally a moment of coming of age. What that means is that at 12 years old for girls and at 13 years old for boys, it's when we start taking responsibility for ourselves. And I think that's one of the most empowering things that you could give to a child. That we believe that once we turn 13 for boys and 12 for girls, our parents are no longer responsible for our negative actions. That when we commit sins, we are held accountable for them. When we do good in the world, we are held accountable for it. So when we are bat mitzvah and bar mitzvah, it's a moment of taking responsibility for our actions in our lives. And it's actually something that's very beautiful. So I don't know where he got that a bat mitzvah is to tell this little Jewish boy or girl that you're better than everybody else, so we're celebrating you. That is not it at all. It's literally a coming of age. You're about to be responsible for your actions in this world. It's time to start growing up.
Is a reoccurring theme in their religion. The problem with that is
it is not a reoccurring theme in our religion to believe that we are superior. It is not a reoccurring theme in our religion to believe that we are at the top of the world. We don't believe that. We believe that we have a different responsibility, and if Jews have this belief, then they're not in the right? And if non-Jews have this belief, then they're not in the right either. Simply a different responsibility.
You can start dehumanizing people. When you dehumanize people, you can, you can rationalize genocide. You can rationalize stealing. They're stealing land in the West Bank. They're doing all this.
This makes me so angry. First of all, the only one who's dehumanizing anyone is him, dehumanizing the Jew. And Jews do not dehumanize people. We are actually the main belief that believes in the greatness of the human being. We believe that the human being is made in the image of God, and that we have a soul spark inside of us that is a piece of the Creator. And because of that, every single human being is to be treated with decency and respect. And rationalize genocide, first of all, there's no genocide going on in the Middle East. It's just not the definition. The definition of genocide is to exterminate a population. That is not going on in Israel. That is not going on in Gaza, in the West Bank. Literally, completely false. How can there be a genocide if the majority of the population is still there, if they're still alive? It is one thing to intentionally go and kill a population, and it is another thing for people to die as a casualty of war. It is two completely different things. You cannot compare the Holocaust to the war that is going on in Gaza. Hitler intentionally spoke and verbalized his intention behind why he was doing the Holocaust is because he wanted to exterminate the Jews. He wanted to wipe them out. The word genocide was invented from the Holocaust because Hitler wanted to completely exterminate the Jewish people, and that was his intention behind it, right? The Jews have no intention to exterminate the Palestinian population or the Islamic population. That is not the Jewish intent. The Jewish intent is to get the hostages back, to bring justice for our people. And that doesn't mean we're exterminating everyone. It is not a genocide. It is a consequence of war, and it has happened throughout all of time. And then he says that we steal land from the West Bank. Please, I implore you to study history just a little bit. First of all, the Jewish people got the land of Israel fair and square. Conquering land has been a part of reality from the beginning of time. There's been a people who wants a specific piece of land, and on that land there's another people. So what does the people who wants the land? They come and they conquer it. And if that means that they have to kick out whoever is already in that land, then that people who's in that land, if they can't fight for it, then they have to go away. And if they want to cry about it, cry about it. But that's the reality of this world. We want to possess land. The nations of the world want to possess land, and whoever gets the land gets the land. It's that simple. And that's how it has worked for all of time. Wherever you live in the United States, you live in Europe, you live in South America, guess what that land was once? Part of a different nation. But then somebody else came and conquered that land and kicked out who was there or killed them, and they got that land instead. Okay? Conquering land has always been a part of our history, and Israel did it fair and square. Now, that is without even being said that the land of Israel has always been the Jews. Okay, that's just first of all. the Jews have always lived in the land of Israel. There has always been Jewish people living in the land of Israel far before the Islamic religion was even created, far before Christianity was even created. There has always been Jews within the land of Israel. But let's not even pay attention to that. The fact is that the land of Israel was conquered by the Jews fair and square. And people have to accept that fact. Conquering land is a part of life. It's a part of how this world works. And if you don't like it, go cry about it. I don't know what to tell you. That's how life works. And of course, that's without being said that the land of Israel has always belonged to the Jews. Only in recent times, politically, we had to conquer it, but biblically, it has always been ours. There has always been Jews living in that piece of land. And of course, if you believe in the Bible, there's obviously no argument to be made. If you believe in the Bible, then you believe that the land of Israel doesn't belong to anyone, doesn't belong to the nations of the world, doesn't belong to the Jews, doesn't belong to anyone. Who does it belong to? God, the master of the universe. And God wanted that the Jews get this piece of land. That's what the entire Bible is centered around. What promise did God make to Abraham, to Isaac, to Jacob, that their descendants are going to get this land of milk and honey? God takes the Jews out of Egypt. For what purpose? To take them to the land of milk and honey. The entire Bible is centered around the Jews living in the land of Israel. So if you believe in the Bible, how can you possibly tell me that that land doesn't belong to the Jews? The land doesn't belong to the Jews. It belongs to God, but God gave it to the Jews. So going back to his absolute false narrative that the Jews steal land from the West Bank, no, they gave that land to the Palestinians, unfortunately. And the Israelis have to suffer the consequences of that land that they gave, okay? They don't steal land. Israelites have never steal land. It has always been ours. If anything, you stole land from us. Let's continue.
Okay. And I think it's a religious problem. Judaism doesn't try and convert anybody. They just think they're better.
Judaism doesn't try to convert anybody. We just think we're better. No. We actually, as opposed to every other religion, believe that you don't need to convert to us in order to be saved, right? And that's much more righteous if you ask me. We don't believe that you need to become a Jew in order to inherit the next world or to be good by God. We believe that we simply have a different responsibility and that you as a non-Jew, as a Gentile, can fulfill your purpose in this world without having to be a Jew. That's why we don't require you to convert. We believe if you're born a Jew, then this is a responsibility you have to keep to the commandments of the Torah. If you're not born a Jew, then you don't have the responsibility to keep to the commandments of the Torah. And you don't have to keep to these commandments in order to inherit heaven. You don't need to become a Jew in order to inherit heaven. In fact, being a Jew is very difficult because it requires a high level of discipline in the lifestyle that you're living in order to keep to the commandments. So we don't require conversion. We don't insist that people convert because we don't believe you need to convert in order to be saved.
We are the chosen ones. They're basically like, everybody is here to serve us.
We are the chosen ones. We are here to serve us. What God means when he calls us the chosen people is, once again, that we have a different responsibility from the rest of the world. God calls us a mamlechet kohanim, a nation of priests. That's what we are, Dan Belzerian. If you believe in the Bible, what God intended for the Israelites to be is a priest for the rest of the nations. Within the Israelite nation, there has always been a high priest, which is called a Kohen Gadol. And that high priest has a higher stature than the rest of the people. What he does is he guides the people. He's closer in his relationship with God, and he has prophecy in order to guide the rest of the Israelite nation. Why is he born a high priest? Is he better than anyone else? No. God, for whatever reason, decided that this person should be born high priest. Now, God calls us a nation of priests, that the Israelite nation is a nation of priests. Why God decided that there should be a certain nation in the world, which is the Israelite nation, that should be priests to the rest of the world, I don't know. Take it up with God. But that's who we truly are. That's what the Israelites are. We're supposed to be a guide to the nations, a light to the nations. As it says in the book of Isaiah, we're supposed to be a nation of priests, meaning that we're supposed to be the ones who receive the morality, the biblical values from God, and spread that to the rest of the world. That is our purpose being here. Being chosen is literally a responsibility to keep to the Torah and to spread the values of the Torah to the rest of the world. It doesn't mean superiority. It doesn't mean that you have to bow down to me. It means that I'm actually here to serve you spiritually, to bring you closer to the truth of the one God. That's what Abraham was all about, bringing the rest of the world to the consciousness of the one God in the world, of one power. And that's what the Jews are here to do. We don't believe that the nations are this piece of dirt and they're supposed to just bow down to us. And all this does, of what he's spreading, is spreading false lies that feed the anti-Semites and that feeds anti-Semitism in the world.
And so when you have that mentality, like, look at how they're treating the Palestinians. They're treating them like cattle. And so, like, you're going to obviously
treating them like cattle. Again, first of all, let's look at this family. Do you know this family? This is the Bibas family. Shiri, Ariel, and Kafir. Today, they were buried. Do you know what happened to them? They were taken in the middle of the night from disgusting Hamas terrorists. They were taken, they were kidnapped. A toddler, a baby, and their mother, taken, kidnapped, and murdered in captivity. Do you know how they were murdered? Not with a gun, not through any simple means, but the biopsy showed that they were murdered by hands of a human being. They were mutilated. They were killed with bare hands. Do you know what it takes to kill someone with your bare hands? It takes a disgusting level of evil. And they mutilated them. And then they were exchanged back to Israel in exchange for a release of terrorists. You ask me who's treating who like cattle. Killing people in order to murder them, in order to take away their life because you feel like they're the venom of the world, is one thing. People dying as a consequence of war is a completely different thing. All life is valuable. All life is valuable. And any life that is taken is a disgrace, and it's unfortunate, and it's something to be mourned about. But the intention behind how the killing went on makes a difference. There's a high difference between losing a loved one in, God forbid, a car crash, or losing them because somebody else murdered your child in cold blood. There's a high difference between the two. And the difference between Hamas and Israel and the Israelis is that Israel is not targeting Palestinians. It is targeting Hamas terrorists. And it warns the civilians of Palestine. It warns the civilians of Gaza. It sends papers before they throw rockets, telling them there will be a rocket sent here. Get out of the way. Israelites is focusing on killing terrorists, and as a consequence, because of the terrorists who use the civilians as human shields, those civilians died. But the Israelites' intention is never to kill the civilians. It happens as a consequence of war. Whereas Hamas terrorists, their only desire and want is to murder every Jew alive. And don't come to me saying that they don't want to kill the Jews, they just want to kill the Zionists. No, they want to kill the Jews too. Otherwise, they wouldn't be bothering the Jews in America. They wouldn't be bothering the Jews in London. They wouldn't be bothering the Jews in Australia. Why are you bothering them if they're not in Israel? It's because you hate the Jews, not the Zionists. Hamas wants to kill and murder and destroy the Jewish nation. IDF soldiers wants to kill the terrorists, and civilian casualties are a consequence that's inevitable as a result of it. There's a big, big difference. Understand that well. Israel does not treat Palestinians like cattle. If anything, they supply water, food, and needs to the Gazans. They would have wiped out Gaza if it weren't for the civilians.
Cattle differently than you're going to treat a human. So when your belief system is such that you are better than everybody else and other people are subhuman, then you're going to have exactly what's going on. Our country is being controlled by Israel. Like, you can question anything in history other than that, and you literally get thrown in jail for it. That should make you want to question it more than anything. I hear you.
And America is governed by Israel. No, America is governed. Number one, God is in control of the world. So no human has any power to do anything without God wanting it. But America is in control by the supreme elites, the elites of this world who all want the worst for all of humanity. But it's not the Jews. who are in control of America and out to destroy it, as so many people think. It's ridiculous. It's anti-Semitic. This is anti-Semitism. This is anti-Semitism. I don't like using that word lightly, but this is what it is. It is this belief that the Jews are this venom in the world, and that they believe that they are this superior being, and that this belief that the Jews are the root of evil. It has happened through all of human history. And all I have to say is that the nations of the world have come and gone, but there has been one nation, one ideology that has lived throughout all of time, and that is the Jewish nation. And that is only real because God willed it to be so. God made a promise and God doesn't change his mind. God made a promise that the Israelite nation will live on. The Israelite nation will always persevere. Yes, they will be persecuted. And they will be persecuted for the sole reason of them assimilating and going away from God. Know very well that the nations of the world are literally the puppets they are puppets, and God is in control of them. And God literally sends the nations of the world to persecute the Jews so the Jews return to God. That's the only reason the nations of the world could ever have power over the Jewish people. But the Jewish people are God's beloved, all right? And they are always going to live. And I advise something to the anti-Semites of this world. Stop judging the Jewish people for single evil elites, all right? The government doesn't represent the entire nation. Certain people don't represent the entire Jewish people. The Jewish people is a righteous nation. Otherwise, God wouldn't have chosen us to be the nation of priests for the rest of the world. It's a righteous nation. Are there a few evil ones? Of course, but that's with everyone. There are always few evil elites. That doesn't represent everyone. So this video highly agitated me, as you can tell. And I wanted to make a video to refute the absolute blatant lies that this guy spews. And he appeared to me a couple times. Maybe I'll refute more of his absolute blatant lies. It's disgusting. But for all of time, people have found a reason to hate Jews. And in our time, the reason that people have found to hate the Jews is Zionism, is the Israelite state, and the hide behind that as to why they hate the Jewish people. Once again, a corrupt government does not represent the entire nation. And the Jewish people are God's chosen. And what that means is that he gave us a different responsibility. It doesn't mean superiority. It doesn't mean that we're better than anyone else. It simply means that we actually have a harder task to accomplish in this world. That's what we believe. So I hope this video clarified some things. Sorry if I was a little bit upset, but I'm tired of seeing things like this. It's absolutely ridiculous. If they were true, maybe I wouldn't be upset, but they're so false. Everything he said was completely and utterly false. Open your eyes. Open your eyes. I don't believe in making the topic of the land of Israel political because I don't believe that it's political. And I believe that there's no argument when it comes to talking about the politics of it. The argument for the land of Israel being the Jews is only one argument, and that's when we go into the Bible. I only believe on arguing from a biblical basis. And if you believe in the Bible, as you should, you understand that its whole basis is the Israelite nation living in the land of Israel, serving God there. Why aren't the Arabs content with the insane amount of land that they have all around the land of Israel? Ask yourself that. Why do they insist on having that small piece of land that God gave to the Israelite nation? And just to be clear, I don't believe in a secular state. I believe in a religious state. I believe in a land where the Jews are living in the land of Israel, serving God and living up to his commandments. I don't believe in a secular, corrupt government leading the Jewish people. I believe in a godly running of the country. And I wait for the Messianic times in order for that to happen. But the land of Israel belongs to the Jewish people. And if you believe in the Bible, you accept that as a fact. So may this truth be spread, and may the lies that come out in the world be completely obliterated. At the end of the day, we all will have God to respond to. And life and death are in the power of the tongue. We must be very careful about the words that we say. Very, very careful about the words that we say. If you believe that you will meet God when you leave this world, be very careful about how you talk, especially when you have an influence on so many people. Yeah, gotta refute the lies with truth. That's what we're here for. So, I hope you guys all have a wonderful day. Let me know your thoughts. And yeah, I don't think I'll do more videos refuting anti-Semites because they make me really bothered. But this one, I felt compelled to do so. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And remember to always ask yourself if something is true. Just because someone says it doesn't mean that it is. Do your research. All the best.